Hello, guys. It's Mark Zick, Mr. Sci-Fi, on the day that we completed our Kickstarter campaign successfully, and we're going to be doing the table as well, and it's going to be another great evening of fun and frolic. So there's Elaine, as you can see, and Elaine is having a great time.
I'm putting on my shoes for my dog.
Very, very happy. And there we are. Let's see, join with video, and we're joining the table right now, and it will be coming up in a moment. Okay, let's see, join with computer audio.
Timing.
Hi, guys.
Oh, no.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, wait.
We can't hear you.
I know. There we go. Okay, guys.
Now we can.
Yes, well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for all your hard work on the campaign, and we succeeded.
Yay.
And
Congratulations.
thanks, yeah. So
that was shocking.
Yes, pretty exciting, huh, Dave?
Yeah, I would not have bet on this outcome.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I'm me. So
it's one of those third act success stories.
Yes.
I should know by now.
Yes. Hi, James. So great. So
the hero of the Kickstarter campaign, there he is now.
Yeah. So but
congratulations, cool. Nicely done, all.
Thanks. Thank you. Yes, thank you all. And I mean, now we continue on. But okay, so it's the table. It's Thursday night. So hello, Adam. How are you doing? Good. Well, why don't we start with you, because we never start with you, right?
Only occasionally.
Wow.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, but thank you. Hi, I'm Adam Sartain, and I'm a voice actor who can do 75 different voices, accents, impressions. I am a musician, and I'm an associate producer on Space Command. So yeah, a lot has been going into getting us to the finish line on this latest Kickstarter of ours, including learning more about Facebook advertising than I wanted to know.
Yeah, well,
the change. I thought I knew just enough about Facebook advertising, and then it was like, oh, there's so much more. There's so many depths of levels here. I was just at the tip of the iceberg. But thank you to very much thank you to James for that.
Great.
And professionally, I'm actually in rehearsal for a virtual staged reading of Animal Farm.
Great.
So that's a lot of fun. I'm playing Major and Napoleon.
Cool. Okay, that's great.
So you might say I booked a major role.
Yes, great.
And that's all we have time for.
Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And I also did book another 1 minute history.
Cool.
I've done 3 of those so far.
Great.
Lots of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. So things are looking good in Adamland.
Yes, that's great. Is there anything you need?
I think I'm good. I was going to say I need a giant thing of peanut M&Ms, but I'm good. So.
There we go. Life is good. So great. Well, 3 cheers.
You stole my line.
Yes. Yay. 3 cheers.
We were discussing M&Ms before you got here.
I see. Good.
The need for giant vats of M&Ms.
Well, there you go.
Mine are plain, his are peanut.
Well, there you go. Yep. Okie doke. And so Adam, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question?
I think I saw one. This is from Hayes494.
Yes.
I have a Star Trek idea, he says. Set in an alternate universe, the Federation has a state religion, such as Catholicism, Mormon, or fictional, like BSG, and the characters are religious. Is that a good idea?
Well, here's the challenge. Of course, the Federation has been established as having no religion specifically. That was Roddenberry's idea. And also, of course, we don't own Star Trek. You don't own Star Trek. And so in some ways, it's better to come up with your own universe and follow through on that storyline. The storyline is certainly viable. A science fictional universe about a galactic empire that has a state religion is of course interesting and a fascinating extrapolation of our world. But doing it as a Star Trek story means it's much more difficult to get that through, because you'd need Paramount and CBS and so forth to okay it. One could do it theoretically as a novel or a graphic novel, but I'd suggest just taking it out as your own thing, rather than Star Trek. But that's just my thought. So cool. So I see that Connie has joined us. Hi, Connie, from the UK.
It is some ungodly hour out there, so we shall pop you in front of the line.
Yes. How are you doing, Connie?
I'm good. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'm good. Yes, it is some very horribly ungodly hour.
Yes.
So I can't stay very long, but
okay.
I haven't been in a while. And I just thought I'd pop on and say hello.
Good. It's good to see you.
Great to be here. I don't need anything per se, but I've had quite a lot of things going on. So my mum's doing really well. She's finished her chemo.
Good.
She's just started her radiation. Everything's great so far. So she's doing really well.
Yes.
So for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm a actress, writer, singer, production art student, special effects makeup artist. I completed my first year of my production arts course and I got my grades today.
Cool.
Yeah.
And not only did I pass, but I got the highest marks.
Yay!
So I'm feeling pretty good about that today.
That's great. That's great. Congratulations.
Considering I had to finish the year from home with my 3 kids and my sick mum, I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Good for you. And yes, and I noticed that you did get a response again from Damien.
Yes. Damien.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes. Finally.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, we managed to make that work finally.
Great.
And yeah, I've had loads of auditions, and I've actually managed to book myself a role.
Yay.
So I'm filming. It's just a short independent, but we're filming it not this weekend, next weekend, and I'm the lead. So doing very well at the moment.
Yes, that's terrific. Congratulations.
These are not bad things. The grades and the role. This is not bad stuff
No.
to share with your immigration attorneys.
No, yes, exactly. No, but that's great. Congratulations, Connie. That's good. Very good to hear. So, is there anything we can do to be of help? Is there anything you need?
I'm doing really okay at the moment, thank you. But I'll be in touch if I need anything.
Yes.
Say hello to your mom.
Please, yes. And
I will.
And if I understand from Marvel Comics, if she's going to be getting radiation, that should give her superpowers. So,
Well, she's pretty super already.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's going to be something to see.
Yes. We'll definitely give her our best, and we look forward to talking with you soon again. So great.
Thanks
Well, congratulations. Yay,
Yay.
Connie. 3 cheers. Great. So Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Our next question comes to us from Pierre Chicoine. I think I pronounced that right. Who says, how much science research do you do during your writing?
Yes.
Or is your writing based off of science?
Basically, I'm sort of a science geek, and so I keep up with science, particularly with physics and biological medicine, things like that, space science, all of that. So ongoingly, I'm reading in the field of paleontology, etc. And so that will spark ideas. But also, if I'm writing something that's specific to one area of science, then I might research that or call or email friends who are astrophysicists, etc. I mean, with Space Command, we've consulted with people at NASA and JPL and the United States Air Force Space Force, the real one, Space Command, and
it's amazing what we're doing now. Things I didn't realize we were doing now.
Yes.
Projected into the future really well.
Yeah. So I do absolutely keep on top of all that stuff, but you always have to balance that against the story you want to tell and not have the science overwhelm all of it.
Including the term that you used in Ripple Effect.
What was this? I'm sorry, Elaine, I don't remember.
If you consult scientists, you consulted
Neil deGrasse Tyson, of course.
Tyson,
yes,
who was good enough to share.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Also, by the way, I'm going through my scrapbooks because we're going to be doing a book on the art of Mark Zickery from when I was a kid through when I was 20. And so I've been coming across some cool photos. By the way, check out Facebook if you want to see me as a 9-year-old spy, which is pretty hilarious. But this is me with Studs Terkel some years ago. He was a very famous writer. So let's see if I can get that to, yeah, there we go. So that was really fun in Chicago. He was one of the great writers. And so cool. So let's see, I guess.
Do we have anybody else who is east of the
Los Angeles River.
Yes, of the Los Angeles River. Anybody else who's
heading toward the middle of the country, or
anyone in a different
nope.
time zone? Okay,
So well, why don't we do? What were you going to say?
James has been keeping the
James?
longest hours.
Okay, James, do you want to take your turn?
Yeah.
I'm assuming I'm the only James on today.
Yes.
You are, yes,
Yes,
and
for
I'm
now.
Assuming you've been
For
keeping
now.
some of the longest hours. So hey.
Yeah. So exciting week.
Yes.
Pushed really hard on the Space Command Kickstarter campaign,
Yes.
and we blew through the initial goal and hit the other goal that I was talking about.
Yeah.
The K mark.
Yeah.
And then my other goal after that was a 70. We didn't quite get there, but we
Close.
got pretty close.
Yeah.
It's amazing with the time frame that we had, and in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes. Yes.
And I got to tell you, you put out some great videos, which really, really helped me to
Yes.
actually do my job.
Good. Well, yeah, but again, it's the determination to figure out a way to make stuff work. Because again,
absolutely.
I mean, because initially when we had to play a game of catch up, and it was like, okay, let's really go hammer and tongs, and that's also where having a YouTube channel is so helpful, because you have a conduit to your audience, and then with your bringing your Facebook ads knowledge and so forth. I mean, it all comes together. So that was great. So I really appreciated your help, James. And just so everyone knows, our target was $48,000 on Kickstarter, all or nothing, and we hit 63,852, something like that. And so that was great. And so the campaign has ended. And so I'll just buy that Lexus, and that'll be that. So, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Not to get too much into statistics, but we had 400,000 folks that impressions on there, and we had over 7,000 people who came to the campaign that wouldn't normally have come there.
That's great.
And the entire team, obviously, they couldn't have been done without all of them, and
Yes.
everybody really pitched in and did well. And I agree with you completely. And you've been saying this all along the table, and that is, you just gotta do it. You greenlight yourself.
Yes.
You move forward, and you just don't let anybody deviate you from your goal.
That's right.
And that's how, I just finished starting and completing film in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes.
Rather than waiting on the sidelines to be picked.
Yes. And you did it within the guidelines and working with SAG and so forth. So it wasn't like you were just saying, it wasn't like certain politicians we can name who just say, well, let them die. Who cares? I mean, it's like, yeah, I got to break a few eggs.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
nothing like that. It was definitely all within the guidelines, and then extra guidelines put on top to make sure that people really are safe.
Yes.
On there, and to really kind of pioneer a standard for going forward.
Yes.
To where we can all get back to work safely, and not have to worry about, are we going to bring something home?
Yes. Exactly.
Hey, James, what was your job title on that film?
Oh, director and producer.
Oh, right. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry.
That's cool.
No more goodbyes. So we had some nice coverage from the trades with Deadline, Hollywood, and The Wire, and stuff like that,
Great.
Which was really nice. And unfortunately, marketing and PR happens to be one of my tools in my toolbox, and really good at that. In certain aspects on there, and then always expanding those on out.
Cool.
and learning from other people that are really good at what they do.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, it's funny because, from very early on, I realized that certain writers were their own brand, like Rod Serling or Bradbury, et cetera, or Harlan Ellison. And it was fascinating to study how they promoted themselves and positioned themselves. It was really, I mean, Harlan Ellison, I remember one time he was speaking at a science fiction convention. He actually hired someone to wear a sandwich board and walk around the convention, and it said, Harlan Ellison talking at such and such time, only appearance at this convention. It was like, he was really banging the drum, and it worked, and again, so again, it's like, figure out what works, find out, who knows what they're doing, so that was great. That's great. Congratulations, James. So what's the plan with your film now? Where does it go from here?
So that film, No More Goodbyes, we're going to be going to Sundance with that one. That one's on our first film on our social impact slate, where we're really want to actually change the world.
Okay.
On there.
Sure.
So just a small goal.
Yeah. So change it for the better or worse.
Definitely better.
Oh, good.
The folks who want to change things for worse, I think you had a word for it, is Antichrist.
Yes. But that's great.
So I tend to disassociate with folks like that. And then we have another film that we did right before the pandemic in January. And that one, I'm just finishing deliverables right now.
Cool.
So that that one will go on out to our streaming platforms and our whole distribution kind of plan for that one.
So in terms of in terms of the feature you just did, you said it's headed for Sundance. So is your strategy to submit it to Sundance and get it into this festival, or what? Where are you along that process?
Okay, so No More Goodbyes, which is different from Rekindling Christmas. Rekindling Christmas is very commercial, so that's literally going straight into your typical traditional distribution.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of windows.
Yeah, blockbuster video.
Yeah, and so No More Goodbyes. This one, it's the kind of more appropriate strategy for that one is really to go to Sundance, and then a few other festivals as backups. The kind of interesting thing is this is a year when there's probably very few submissions.
Yes. Yes.
There's a bonus there.
Yes. The reason I was asking the question is because one of the table members who hasn't come in some time, but he would definitely be someone for you to talk to, is Chris Wyatt. Chris produced Napoleon Dynamite, and they had a whole strategy that got them into Sundance, and they sold very, very well at Sundance, and then of course it went on to become a big hit. And so if you ever wanted to talk to him, he might have some advice.
That is really great.
Yeah.
So I will definitely take you up on that one and connecting with Chris.
Cool.
And then because of this whole kind of pandemic thing, we've had some other interesting things happen where I started talking with some theater owners, whether it be the one from ArcLight Pacific theaters or from some of the other chains, and they're definitely open to theatrical releases from independent producers.
Cool.
So that was a strategy that I never had actually really considered as like a viable option, but now it's on the table, and it's actually looking more viable every day.
Wow.
And so we're proceeding forward with that. As these theater owners is saying that they really need content.
Yes.
And the studio system is not releasing content to them.
Cool. So is there anything you need at this point?
More time.
Yes.
So I mean, this is the interesting thing is you've talked about several times how you prioritize on there, where you will go ahead and say either this will actually move a project forward or this will bring money in.
Yes.
So it's what are the two on there? And so that's really what I have to do, because there's never enough time on there. And so it's, I have to prioritize. And so I use some of that model on there. It's like what's going to move this specific project forward, but also what's going to move the entire pipeline forward. And I have to decide which project literally is the hottest iron in there, and is it the right time for it? Like No More Goodbyes, the time for that one is now.
Yes.
It's more timely than ever. So it's like that moved up to the front on there. So I always say more time, But I think it's always helpful to gain time through being more efficient.
Yes.
And figuring out how to double up or collapse.
Yes.
Where you can be more efficient in things and take care of them at the same time.
Cool. Well, that's
like time, like 6 times. And
yeah. One thing I do is that whenever I meet anyone whose work I admire, I find out what their work schedule is. Okay, I mean, really specifically, I did that with Guillermo and I did that with Ray Bradbury, and it's very, very specific. They're really like they run along very specific tracks, and they divide up their day into this time they do that, this time they do this. I mean, Ray is no longer with us, sadly, but again, very rigorous, and so I found that very, very helpful. So so you'll find that successful people have very specific schedules, and so it's really, those are always very interesting conversations, because nobody asks them those questions, and so they're always very, very open to sharing that stuff with you. So anyway, so anything else for now?
No, I'm fabulous. So cool. Thank you.
Okay, yay!
We should probably ask
what?
After we do Mr. Sci-Fi. Probably ask if anybody has to leave early.
Yes, sure. Yeah. Okay. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. Our next question comes to us from Wilhelm Sowers.
Hi, Wilhelm.
Who asks, what are your thoughts on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek trilogy of movies as both a writer and filmmaker?
Yes. Well, when I was a child, I used to go to playgrounds, and there was a metal device they had there that you'd climb up and then you'd slide down it. So you'd start up high and then you'd go far lower. And so that's sort of my thought about his Star Trek movies. I mean, the first one I thought was very, very good. Then the second one was like less good. And then the third one, was what it was. And so I admired his, he's not an innovator. He's a fairly good interpreter, but the challenge is that it just kind of ran out of gas in a way. There wasn't a, since he doesn't really stand for much. I mean, I like JJ, he's a great guy, but he didn't burn with that same vision of commitment that Roddenberry did, for all of Roddenberry's flaws. And Roddenberry wanted to say something with Star Trek, and he succeeded in that. But more and more Star Trek and Star Wars are basically viewed as money, intellectual property to drive money and profits, and because of that, it's very hard to get meaning in them. And so I like them, and I particularly liked the first one, but they're not, it's not like some of my favorite movies where they really stick with you. There's meat on the bone, So, but okay. So Elaine wanted us to ask who has to leave early, who's on a tight time frame, who hasn't had a turn yet. Nobody? Anybody? No? Okay. So I guess on our screen, the next person is Dave Edison. Dave, do you want to jump in?
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you and yours are safe and healthy. We are so far. So yes, congratulations on that goal.
Thanks.
Remarkable.
Thanks.
Remarkable with a C, not a K. And I keep looking up here because I'm working on a shot.
Great.
For the second episode.
Yay.
Trying to go through it and put little VFX together that I can cobble and see how much we have to leave to the people who know what they're doing. Other than that, that's been about it. Just working on little bits and pieces of this all week, and I guess I'll just keep doing that. Nothing really else I can think of except, aside from that giant vat of M&Ms, I'm thinking about a 5.5 pound tub of red vines when I go to Costco one of these days.
Yeah, great.
Because I haven't gained enough weight during this pandemic. So anyway, so other than that, cheers, stay well, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yay! Thanks, Dave. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. This question is by Gregory Krug.
Hi, Greg.
And he asks, by your definitions, what is the difference between fantasy and science fiction?
Science fiction, in science fiction, the fantastical elements have either a scientific or pseudoscientific rationale for what makes them work, whereas fantasy doesn't. And that's sort of a basic notion. But beyond that, of course, Damon Knight wrote To Serve Man. His definition of science fiction was, science fiction is what I'm pointing at when I say science fiction. So that was pretty good too. But yeah, so I mean, that's sort of my little pocket definition, having written both fantasy and science fiction. So when you do science fiction, you have to say, okay, how's this work? And if it doesn't, like if you're doing something like a fusion drive, and we don't have fusion yet, you just kind of you research it as much as you can, and then you extrapolate. So it's really like that. Cool. So let's see, David Bartlett, you want to jump in and take your turn?
Hi. David Bartlett here. I am a filmmaker and a teacher and a human rights activist, and I am one of the producers of Space Command.
Yay!
Yes, we did finish the campaign. The smashing finish, as all good Kickstarter campaigns do, with a big surplus and a last-minute ditch of one single person that was interested in becoming a producer, and he gave us 10 grand in one hit.
Wow.
And I was like, that works for me.
That's great.
So now we can film for the next 2.5 months, starting in about 3 weeks on weekends, with a small crew and minimal number of actors in the studio that we're building, which is getting very close to being finished. And we'll have a lot of stuff shot by mid-September.
Great.
Mid-September, mid-October, 1st of October. So yeah, that's going to be great. And we're planning to do a lot of visual effects between now and Christmas. And our target is to finish episode 2 completely by Christmas.
Yes.
And Dave Edison is going to be fully on board with that, I can
tell.
Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, wait, that's me.
Yes, exactly.
So all the Space Command stuff is in good shape and moving forward accordingly.
Yes.
I have... Personally, I have background in Hollywood for 40 years now. I made my first film when I was 10.
Yes.
I worked with James Cameron when he was a production designer, and his name was Jim. And I was a set carpenter, and all those Roger Corman New World Pictures, low budget days have come into good stead with me in the last 3 months.
Cool.
Because I'm also the de facto production designer and also art director, helping people build the sets of Space Command. And we took our 12 beloved cave walls and stripped off all the old skins off of them that were made from paper mache and whatnot, and they are now fully refurbished with tubes and lighting sockets and sort of a wormy like vein sort of surface that's painted black and red, and they look pretty cool, I have to say.
Cool.
So that's cool. And we are now having sets built for, I think there are 7 sets for interior of spaceships and terraforming platform offices and doctors' offices and whatnot with special futuristic equipment. Today we were sanding off one of the consoles that we bought from Cloverfield Paradox and preparing to make it white so it can become a medical console and possibly the control station for the disembarkation point where people take rockets to other parts of the solar system.
Cool.
So we're working on that now, which is really fun. And my life is sort of consumed with Space Command right now. And I mean that in the best way, of course.
Yeah.
and been helping James a little bit with this film with some visual effects people, and that's been interesting to take a drama film and put visual effects to it, because you wouldn't imagine a film that was shot to be a Christmas film that was done sometime in the spring in Texas. So now there's all sorts of snow around, which is really transformational and amazing that you can do that with a relatively small budget, so anybody can really make anything they want. It's just becoming more and more like that. Our new studio is going to have a completed green screen, a fully black drape environment with floor and sound, accepting environment for production sound. So we'll be able to shoot pretty much any size of a small to medium sized set in the facilities that we have right now.
Great, cool.
A really cool thing where in our studios nearby, in our complex is a large section of other facilities. So what we can do is we can, because we're there now with 2 leases, the manager loves us. So she says that we can rent other rooms that are bigger, that are vacant at any particular given time for just a week by week or maybe even by the day basis. So we're going to be in there in a very large space for 3 days.
Cool.
And shoot tests with the big sets and the fog and stuff, and then bring them back into our smaller room until we wait for 3 or 4 months and shoot those scenes, and then we can expand out again into a bigger space. So it's really very, very cost effective and very flexible.
Great.
And the great
very
thing-
hot right now. We've got 3 giant fans blowing on us as we're working.
Oh, good.
It's 100 degrees and stuff, but it's it's working.
Good.
Good. And then the good thing about having made bumpy sets is we just have to shift the light that the shadows will move back and forth and be very creepy indeed.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah.
They'll be very creepy. They're really designed for that. It's great.
Yes.
And I think, Elaine has nicknamed this 45-page section inside this alien spaceship the haunted house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So haunted house section is going to be very much a haunted house with lots of creepy lights and fog. And
Cool.
so if anyone is interested in volunteering or even having a paid position on occasion, I'm in a position to do that right now. We've got lots of sets being built, lots of painting and sanding being done. Other things happening as well besides that. We're going to have some shooting coming up. We need grip and electric for that, makeup, hair, the whole thing. And we've got these little studios with big ambitions, and we're COVID friendly. I'm getting COVID certified myself, and we all wear masks for the most part when we work.
Mhm.
And we'll have it all set up properly with SAG and everything else, so it's going to be done the right way.
Great.
Who's that?
Dare I ask how long you've slated for this 45-page haunted house?
That's about a 3-week shoot, but we're doing before that the 17 pages of framing story over 6 successive weekends, a couple scenes at a time.
Great.
So we're stalling a little bit on the haunted house
Mhm.
because we want to make sure that the COVID environment is going to be compatible with that because it does have quite a few people in it.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we're shooting the scenes that have a very small number of people.
Hey, Dave?
Are containable.
Mhm. Yes.
Let's interrupt me. Yes.
Yeah, can I interrupt you for
Sure.
just a second?
Sure.
Jim,
Then you can reclaim your time.
Mhm.
go ahead.
Hi,
Who's
Jim.
there?
Hi.
Hey, Jim. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
It's great to see you. Hi.
Good to see you, Jim.
Hello, James.
Hi.
Mr. Metropole.
Great.
James, who has a big chunk of role in Space Command.
Yes. Yes.
And does a wonderful, wonderful job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we have his autographed picture on our wall in the studio, too.
Yay.
That's
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Well,
do
great.
too.
Well, it's great to see you.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, I'm glad
Yay.
you're up
All
for
right.
us today.
Mazel
You can
tov.
reclaim your time now.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
so David and
Yeah,
Thanks,
pretty much
Mike.
done.
thanks. So
So if anyone wants to reach me about that,
Yeah.
volunteering or not, you don't have to be in the studio or even in LA because I can also have help with the fulfillment because I'm
Yes.
also in charge of crowdfunding fulfillment, of which there's a lot of. We're doing great inroads on that.
good.
So we're getting close to being finished with certain items, which is kind of a big deal.
Terrific. And the I got a text today from someone, a film student who wants to become a PA. So I'll forward that
There
to you
go.
as well. So that's great.
And Connie, you said you might have some time now?
Connie,
Okay.
Good.
Yes,
Connie.
in
Yeah.
Wales.
In Wales.
And she has many skills.
Yes.
She has many skills
Yes.
that I think if you guys had a conversation that
Yes.
she can help. She's got a lot of sophisticated skills.
Right.
Sure. So let's do this. Let's do to contact me through the Space Command universe to get to me is my email, which is davefilms, DAVEFILMS, and I'll put it on the chat here
Mhm.
at hotmail.com, and you can reach me that way. And then I can also, oh yes, I'm also doing the table email. So
Yay.
if you're new or having trouble with your table email, I got a couple of grants out of that one. I
Mhm.
didn't get that one.
Mhm.
Yay.
So the table email is a network of around 2,000 people all over the world that talk to each other and help each other with networking and whatnot to make films and TV shows and comic books and whatever they're up to.
Mhm.
So if you want to get involved with that or you're having trouble with it right now, you can email me about that too and I'll help you out.
Great. Terrific. So yay. 3 cheers. Excellent. Good work. So do we have another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, we have the lovely Rose Kirby.
Hi, Rose.
Listening in from the UK.
Great.
Whoa, hi, Rose
Great.
from the UK.
She is. She wants to know when the perks will be shipped,
Yes.
and she also asks who sent the email to me. That was me, actually,
There,
Rose.
there you go.
I sent that. That was sending you some electronic perks. We've already sent out electronic perks, not from this campaign that just went, but the one
Yes.
that we did in March.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're already sending those out. But if you guys want to answer,
Well,
I think David
Kickstarter
Bartlett
takes-
might be able to answer that.
Well-
Kickstarter does take a couple of weeks to clear the actual release of the money.
Yeah. But
What's the question?
and
when
David.
the perks
Oh,
will be shipped.
yes.
There's a schedule of perk shipping. There are some perks that are shipped within a month or two, and some that are shipped a month after that, and some are shipped next year.
Yes.
We're trying to get all the next year perks shipped as soon as we can. The electronic ones will get out as soon as we can.
Yes.
But I would say within 30 days of the actual. See, we have to make sure that the Kickstarter funds hit our account in the transitional period that happens. The transition period that's happening right now for about a week.
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's actually 2 weeks.
We actually get the complete list of what the perks are and who receives them, because they have to confirm that those people actually cashed out their contribution first, or we're giving them stuff that they haven't paid for yet.
Yes.
So it's a two-way street there. Once that's done, I get right on it. I've got a staff that's like ready to go now.
Cool.
In fact, we delivered all the campaign 5 perks, the electronic perks, in about 45 minutes the other day.
That's fun. That's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's going to be fun. I mean, there's a Making of Space Command book. There's all sorts of stuff. And as I said, the Art of Mark Zickery book, because I was an artist in my teens and 20s, and that'll have a lot of fun stuff. I've been going through all these scrapbooks and coming upon stuff I didn't even remember I'd done. So it's really fun. So so why don't we do you, Heidi, because you've been here since early. So why don't you take your turn? There you go. Hi.
I'm Heidi Muro. It's been about a year since I last attended a table meeting because I am employed.
Yay.
I have a logger transcriber job for a reality show called Life Below Zero.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
That's my day job now. So kind of it conflicted with the table meeting start time. So I couldn't make it. Anyway, I'm here now, and I actually pledged for the walk-on speaking role.
Wow. That's great.
So
thanks.
I'm very excited about that. And I am curious to know when that will be scheduled, so I can kind of save the date to be available.
We'll know the schedule shortly. It's going to be a staggered schedule because of the pandemic, and so
we're trying to keep up with the shifting rules.
So basically, it'll be covering, various dates in September, October, November, and beyond. So we'll David Bartlett and Adam will make sure that you're in the loop on all that stuff. And it's great. But the fact that we have an actual physical studio means that we can have standing sets, and we can have all sorts of things that allow us a lot more fluidity than your standard production, because we're not just we don't just have a spaceship for a day or two. We've got a spaceship for a long time.
But I know they're finding out more effective techniques to keep people safe.
Yes.
And the more effective and quickly we can get to those techniques, those effective techniques,
yes,
the more we can put people together and speed up our shooting.
Well, definitely the fact that you're living below zero means that you're going to be well preserved, and and it'll be good. It'll be good. You'll have a nice sheen of ice, protective ice over you, so it's going to be good. So is there anything else you need, Heidi?
Oh no, I guess I'll just wait and see when things start, start going.
Yes, and again, as David was mentioning, we're seeing how all this progresses month by month, and so initially we'll be shooting with just 1 or 2 actors on set, and then we'll go from there. But our first priority, of course, is keeping everyone safe.
But we have several of our regular staff who are compliant, and I know James Garnier has been on the forefront of trying to develop those techniques and make them more affordable and move a little more quickly.
Yes.
Working with SAG.
Yes, and it's incredible in his movie how basically all of the characters look very much like him, and just kind of shifting clothes and glasses and various hair pieces, and it really works. And so, but great. So, anything else, Heidi?
Oh no, that is it.
Yay! 3 cheers. So, do we have another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, our next question is from it's another one from Pierre Chicot. I think this is basically what you're going to be talking about when it comes to your turn at the end.
Sure.
Because he asked, so what do you want to say about Space Command Beyond Hope for the future? But I mean, I'm sure
I can answer that in brief right now. I mean, basically, I like to create ensembles of characters who care about each other, who are there when it really matters. I'm not into designing series about anti-heroes or people who are the meanest people in the room. I believe in the real world in compassion, and I believe in helping others, and I believe that it makes a better world. I think that if you're a beacon of hope, it actually accomplishes something. And so particularly in these times when we need hopeful messages and we need positive messages, that's what Space Command stands for. But also another thing that we stand for is consistency of story and tone and stories that go somewhere, because with so many of the science fiction shows you have now, there's such warfare in the writing rooms that you'll start to establish a story, then it takes a left turn, then they yank it back right, and it's like, I mean, I think the recent Star Wars trilogy is a perfect example of that, where like Luke Skywalker doesn't give a damn, and then they try and make it work in the third one, and it's like lost opportunity, and because there's no story continuity, there's no you get it. And so because Elaine and I are writing all of the episodes of Space Command, and we've laid out the storyline, through the first season and beyond, we know where it goes. And the prequel is canon, and the novel is canon, and so it all forms a larger story.
But also because this is our mythology. Many of us, myself, when I was young, very young, I was taking a train trip from Greece to London in the time of the dictator. It was very rough going because we didn't always have. Anyway,
there were these things called trains.
Yes, there were 3 days and nights of just sitting up and trying to sleep in our seats and having very little food. And so I was playing heroic, because that's what they did in the movies. You look to other people, you're very courteous, you look out for everyone. And other people were being extremely grumpy and self-involved. And my first thought was, haven't they seen the same movies? They're not being heroic. And 3 days is such a cheap, easy way to be heroic. And so I was kind of dismayed when I was very young that people, unlike myself, weren't using these as role models, because they were being the creepy people in the movies. So assuming that when I write, I kind of assume that other people are also taking a page from and are measuring themselves by what is vaguely and simply heroic, which is just to be a good sport. In this case, just be a good sport. So we try and paint pictures of people when you're behaving your best, how that just ripples down.
Yes.
And people change when you change.
Right. And also, we're creating numerous series. We're doing Sweet Haven with Rockneil Bannon, where everyone in the world under 60 dies. And the people 60 and above have to save the world. And so we've written the pilot, we've cast it. So we have, Mira Furlan and Bob Picardo and Barbara Bain and Gates McFadden from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and just on and on. It's an amazing cast. And Mike Harney from Orange is the New Black. And, we're going to do a table read of that, and then we're going to shoot it. And so it's really fun. And, so there's many more adventures to come. I was talking with Gates McFadden earlier today, and it's, she was the Doctor on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and she's a wonderful actress. And we're going, she'll be in a romance with Mike Harney, and it's going to be a fun show. Yeah. Enough about us. So, okay. So let's see. I guess, Sheila, you're next.
Hi. I got new earbuds, so hopefully
they're working.
Okay. So let's see. First off, I wanted to bring up, and I guess I'll put it on the table email.
Sure.
My partner's looking for if anybody needs an editor. Very reasonable.
Okay.
So, and Edison knows who he is.
Okay.
So I'm putting that out.
Okay, great.
I had a good week. I had a pitch meeting with a friend of mine he's launching his production company. And so I had 8 pitches of various TV, reality, film. So that was fun and exciting. And then I'm still trying to find a female screenwriter to help me adapt those novels. I may have somebody, but yeah, I'm still trying to look for that. So.
Okay. And
that is about it.
So how are you going about your search?
To find the writer.
Well, I know a lot of screenwriters.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm just like asking them, like, do you think you could, do you think you can adapt from a novel? I have a friend who is a great screenwriter. She wrote this great feature that I feel like I've already seen because it's such a great script. But her daughters, like my daughter, they're best friends. They're about to go to college. So she said once they're they're gone, she'll go back to it. But right now
Cool.
she just feels like she doesn't have time. And I'm like, oh my God, it's such a great script. And
Yes.
I'd love for you to work here. So
Uh-huh. And is this a paying gig or a non-paying gig?
at the moment it's spec, but I
Yeah.
kind of have a weird feeling like that money's coming and that I'll be able to pay something.
Sure.
And I'm talking to the authors. I was talking to the authors right now. So, you know, momentum going, you never know what's going to happen. So
Yes.
I just want to know if it could be adapted. Well,
Yes, and there are several different ways to adapt novels, because I've done it a number of times on assignment, and some novels require more than others. You know, some you can be faithful to the source material, and in others you need to deviate for various reasons. One thing that I think was William Goldman suggested in adaptation is you read through the novel with a highlighter, with a marker, and you mark the things that really stand out as things you'd want to have in the movie. And basically what he would advocate is read it 3 times, mark it 3 times with different colored markers, and the things that the Gesundheit, there's passages that have 3 colors on them, those are the ones that should be in the final script. So that's right, because they stay with you. Those are the ones that resonate through repeated reading. So that was a very interesting idea, and not one that I've actually done, but I thought it had validity.
And also one of the most challenging things about the changing a novel into a screenplay is
Sure.
if the novel has spread points of view, sometimes it becomes challenging to know in a much tighter time frame who is the horse we're riding.
Mm.
And
I think
yes,
I think we can establish that one.
that's
Yeah,
great.
and-
That's great.
Yeah, and again, there's many ways to adapt something. So it's just seeing what really tells a moving story. So, but great, terrific. So anything else you need, Sheila?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just hoping next meeting I can say we're going, we're filming,
Yeah.
we're shooting, we're doing something.
That sounds great.
Send her some cookies.
Yay, 3 cheers. Okay, great. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Our next question comes to us
Restless.
from Neil Webb,
Okay, hi
who
Neil.
asks, because you were talking earlier about the real Space Command,
Yes.
the U.S.
Yeah.
Air Force Space
Yeah,
Command.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on sharing that same name?
Sharing the name. Well, I mean, I'm glad I didn't name my show Space Force. I'm glad that it's Space Command.
Netflix already has that one.
Yeah, I mean, I went and hung out at Vandenberg with the real officers of the real Space Command before Trump was in office, and I found them very admirable and very smart.
But
And-
in terms of the name, let's be honest,
Mhm.
we sort of didn't remember that there was
A real Space Command until they
And then-
contacted us
then
during the
they-
first
And so we were
campaign.
advertising, and they contacted us, and we went, "Oh no,
Yeah,
are they going to be mad at us?" And they were like, "Really?"
they said we love
super
we love what
nice."
you're doing. We want to help. So that was great.
So it was great that they came aboard, but that was our ignorance that allowed us
Yeah.
to use that name.
Yes.
And then they let us keep it. And for a while, our Space Command was ahead of their Space Command on the net. But they liked the fact that it was heroic stories with people trying their best.
Yes.
And so they were immensely supportive
Well, yeah.
and immensely informative.
Yeah. Well, the Lieutenant Colonel Glenn, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He was on set when we were shooting, and he was just great.
Several guys.
Yeah.
We would
yeah.
have made a number of really goony mistakes
Yeah.
in terms of the military and in terms of the current science,
Yeah.
had they not been good enough to come to our set
Yeah, it was great.
and even show us how to salute.
Yes, it was great. I mean, not that we needed to salute, but our
the
actors did.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. So, Carol, I guess it's your turn. Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
I'm so glad you're here. My day was just on, and you were my anchors. So
Good.
Good.
That's good to hear.
I either knew someone or I read somewhere that Neil Simon would go to an office from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5,
Yes.
close up at 5 o'clock. He did that for years. Years.
Wow.
And look how prolific he was.
Yes.
So
Wow.
like looking at schedules, I think is fun too.
Hmm.
Marco,
See, Carol, I knew Nancy Simon, his daughter, and his office was at home.
Hmm.
In his apartment, he would go into from one room to another, close the door, stay in there, come out for lunch, and stop at 5. And he would sit there and stare at a blank page all day if that's what it took.
Yes.
But he'd get strict office hours.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons why he was so prolific.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Marco Gushwin's here.
Yes, he
No, I
is.
don't- I don't-
I'm here, but I don't know why my picture's frozen.
Okay, you're not. I owe you a public apology. I didn't mean to embarrass you last week when I said your wife would not let me walk into your house because she thinks I'm typhoid Mary.
Well, you owe my wife an apology because we never actually asked her. I kept telling you that I would ask her when you were ready.
Okay.
But but that's okay. It's no harm, no foul.
I didn't mean to besmirch someone I don't know. So
That's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
But now she's frozen your image, Mark.
She probably would feel uncomfortable because she just actually had a COVID test because we had a scare.
Wow.
She was negative, but I would want to ask her. So when you're ready, let me know and I'll ask her.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Mark, just for the record, I owe you an apology too, but you don't want to know why.
Mhm.
Okay, my friend is
Okay.
telling me, all right, so this is the Carol Field Hour. All right. 36 commercials, 20 shows out in New York.
Oh,
I'm an
wow.
actress here now. I do a few other things, but that's what I do. Last week I talked about one of my favorite commercials was with Imogene Coca, and it was a Kmart commercial. I played her daughter, and then she requested me for a Saunders confectionery commercial, and I found a picture of it.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh. How fun.
Wow.
You would ask me, a little underling white girl, she would say, "How is that take? How is that take?" So Mitchie, brilliant. Hey, oh my God. So I just
Wow.
thought I'd show you that for fun.
That's
Here's
great.
some more fun things. So everyone knows, boringly, I was at the show at the El Portal in February, and my newsletter did a piece on me. Now I found out that because it's the group's called Theater of the Mind, and it's therapists, actors, and writers in this magazine, the therapists, they did a whole piece on the show.
Wow.
Great. That's cool.
Oh, my. That's
Great.
cool.
That's great.
It was a beautiful evening. It was just great. So I'm glad that they're spreading this around. I don't know when we're going to get back in any theater. I don't know.
Yes.
Right? Do I have any other questions or anything to ask you? Oh, yeah. So I'm writing an animated pilot on the side, and I finished it over the weekend.
Cool.
Great.
Yay.
Yes, very good.
You know, it was just, it's like what you said. It's about like goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I gave it to someone, and she already sent it to a manager in New York.
That's great. That's great. That's how it works.
Congratulations. Wow.
At the initial phase.
Good.
So I don't know all the lady chicks in the initial phase on here. So, yeah, I'm open for, other than men, guys, out here. I'm open for table reads and to be very hot 5 days to stay hydrated. And
Great.
That's all you need. I really love you people so much.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you,
Yay.
Carol. Yay. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Well, it's on Mr. Sci-Fi, but this question is for Dave Edison.
Uh-oh, look out.
And I think you've answered this one before.
Okay.
This is from Scott Gamble, who asks, what programs are you using or preferring for your Space Command work?
We're editing in Adobe Premiere, and we're using After Effects and Photoshop, and gee, what else, Mark? I mean, the other VFX team has their own slate of software.
Yeah. See, when you were asked what programs do you favor working on Space Command, I thought you were going to say, well, Sky King and Death Valley days.
Discovery,
yeah. So I mean, we use After Effects, we use Premiere, we use
3D choreographer,
Maya, we use Maya,
Final Draft,
just a ton of stuff.
Final Draft, Smoke, Flame.
Blender's one we use.
A lot of Pro Tools.
Yeah, I use Final Draft to write. I use Word to write books, and text documents. But
Maybe you should answer what you're not using.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. We have a few musicians that are on Logic too.
Yeah.
But as far as the final edit goes, the final edit is in Adobe Premiere.
Yes.
And some of the VFX tweaks are in Adobe Premiere.
But again, it's the which a lot of programs are sort of interchangeable in certain ways. I mean, really, it's having something to say and saying it well. I mean, the most important tool that we use is actors who are talented. You know, I mean, it's when I was talking to our actors the other day, I was saying you guys are our collaborators, and you know, unless you have a story to tell and actors who can tell it well, everything else is superfluous. You want the visual effects to be good, but if you don't tell a story that's worth telling and it doesn't move people emotionally, it doesn't have a point, then you can have all the visual effects in the world and it's totally meaningless. And we've all seen movies that are, you know, the visuals look terrific, but the movie's a piece of crap. And so there's that as well. So you know, it's no, but I mean, but Dave, and I mean, we've got a team now that's working, I think, very effectively and very well. And you know, now we just got to finish stuff and put it out there to the world, you know. But we have been actually, you know, we finished one. Yeah, go ahead.
Since we're on software, anybody here know anything about Fairlight, the audio component of DaVinci Resolve? Show of hands. Okay.
Wow.
That's an old company that's sort of trickled around the edges and got bought up by them to be added up to, so they could have a Pro Tools style audio area that's more advanced. And I haven't looked into it, but it's a reliable company. Mark Mothersbaugh still uses Fairlight to this day.
Great. Terrific.
For years and some others. So I don't know what it's like in Resolve. Resolve is a great program. I would say they probably did their due diligence. It's probably pretty cool.
Cool.
The issue I had with this, we can talk later, is that trying to bring an AAF into Fairlight, picture comes in good, some of the sound comes in good, some of the sound is shifted. And I wouldn't show why. So we'll talk later.
Okay, yeah. So great. Well, 3 cheers. Yay. So now I guess it's Brian Hassick. If you want to take your turn, Brian.
Don't forget Sheila, we jumped.
Wait, Sheila. No, we did. Sure. Sheila's turn. Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yes, all right, stop it. Brian, go for it.
Brian Hassick, writer, filmmaker. These days, I'm up for anything. I've been working in distribution for a number of years and really wanted to do production. Been teaching myself animation and storyboard during the COVID thing. So, I'm available for free labor in exchange for knowledge and experience. I've been helping David out a couple of days this week, and I think I'll be working on that console he mentioned tomorrow.
That's fun. That's fun.
Good. That's
great. And I must say how incredibly cool it is to step onto to you know, spaceship interiors. I mean, you know, I was on the original Star Trek set when I was a kid. I was there for the last episode they ever shot on the original Star Trek, and I still get that same thrill when I step onto the Paladin or any of our spaceships. So it's really cool. So thank you for that. So is there anything you need, Brian, or any questions you have?
Yeah, no. At this point, I'm just taking everything in and learning, and glad to be here in this group. So that when I'm ready to make my films, I'll have people to talk to.
Great.
Yay.
Well, yay. 3 cheers. So do we have another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, but first I do want to address Rose Kirby wanted to know if David sent her an email asking for her address. Yes, we, as far as we know, there aren't any hackers sending emails to Space Command people. The thing about Kickstarter is there's no real good way in Kickstarter to send perks. And so we have a database of everyone and every perk that everyone's going to get. And we use a mass mailing system called Sendinblue. And so because it's a mass mailer, it looks like it's, you know, it might look like it's not legit. It's legit. It's us. We are sending, you know, and Rose, we do already have your address, so no need to worry about it.
Okay, great. Okay, terrific. So
to our question, sorry.
Yes, that's fine.
As for the question, how was it?
The system breaks down.
Right. Actually, I think that was it.
Okay, great. So so Michelle Hart, I guess you're next. Unmute. There you go.
I'm unmuted.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there are people here who know me or who I don't know.
Yeah.
Michelle Hart. Michelle with one L. Hart is a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, if everyone can mute their microphones, if it's not their turn, that'd be great. Thank you. So go ahead, Michelle, please.
Actress, dancer, currently actually employed, which is supposed to make my landlord happier. Designing closets for a company called, logically enough, Closets by Design.
Yes.
And I am happy with this because I'm not sitting in an office. I'm going to meet new people every day or every couple of days, and every job is different from every other job, so it's not boring. It's not real profitable yet, but apparently lots of people are making money on this, so yay for that.
Great.
Available for table reads, and available for SAG work. I am supposed to audition, and I will be calling Adam to film for me, please, at some point. I'm supposed to do a monologue for a SAG feature. They asked for somebody who is sorry, this is why we have done more than one take. The character is a spiritual interpreter. Your guess is as good as mine of what that is. They asked for a monologue that shows my storytelling ability and an expressive face.
Okay.
And since I don't have anything that came to mind immediately, I am seriously considering doing Jabberwocky.
That's good.
Very exotic version of Jabberwocky, over the top.
Yes, that sounds good.
So yeah, I was just, if anybody has something else, they said something dark, and God knows Jabberwocky's dark. If anybody has suggestions of anything other than that they think I can learn while I'm still selling closets to people, fine. I was actually looking for something I already knew, and that came to mind.
Yeah.
As far as I'm dying to tell Heidi that her job sounds cool because below zero. This business of writers having specific schedules and so forth. The wonderful, famous wit Dorothy Parker was known for having an office and doing interesting things like putting the word men on her door.
Whoa.
And one day, experiencing a tremendous amount of writer's block, she had sat down at the typewriter and put the paper in it, as one did in those days. And she thought, I've got to start something. And she typed THE. And she waited, and she waited, and she waited. And finally wrote, hell with it, and left for the day.
That's fun.
So I'm out of here.
Okay. Good to see when you want something creepy that is written up, that you memorize, right?
Yeah, presumably.
Okay. I had a creepy experience once, but I didn't write it up. It's just something that happened. Even though I'm not somebody who really believes in that stuff, it was a creepy experience in a small cabin in Canada. And so, but I didn't write it up. It was just something that happened. So,
everyone I know who has had a truly creepy, inexplicable experience, and I have had several of them, sometimes in the company of other people who have the same experience at the same time, it's always preceded by somebody saying, I don't believe in any of this stuff, but this thing happened to me.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird, because it's sort of like you're looking for the logical explanation. It happened with me and my sister. And I'm looking, there's got to be a logical explanation. You always think that, but because you don't have one, you can't say, well, it's creepy, but generally I think all of this is bogus, but I don't know how it happened. So yeah, it is funny. You tend to like.
We should talk about this.
Okay, sure.
I was going to say let's do this over a cup of coffee, but I'll have a cup of coffee, and you out in your place will also have a cup of coffee, and we'll talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Won't ever be over.
Yes, but we can talk about it. I can tell you about my creepy experience. So, okay.
Okay, I want to hear.
Cool.
Okay.
Great. Okay, yay. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam? Nope.
I think we're pretty much caught
Yeah.
up. There was a question from Scott Baker.
Yes, Scott.
who I believe he talked to David Bartlett about a fundraising thing
for Elaine's script. Yeah.
Yeah, for Elaine's script. Did you?
That's in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elaine's fine. The movie's made and released, and we can stop.
No. But it was that's fine. It was an angle. It was a fresh, different angle for an entirely different.
Rudy, you want to go?
For something that
go for a walk?
Honored this kind of storytelling, but was its own separate, entirely different project or series of projects that could spring from that time and place, which I'm sure would be interesting, but it's totally separate, So, and anyway, okay, onward, and I guess we're on to you, Mike.
For your initial time.
Hey,
Hi,
Mike,
everybody.
Yes, hi.
Mike Lopez, cop turned filmmaker. Just to let you all know, if I've got lots of gear, so if anybody has a project that needs police gear, more than welcome to ask. I can help you out, procedures and stuff like that. So if you have a project like that, let me know. Just a shout out to Dave Edison. We've decided last night that he is a secular saint. He's not religious, but he's a secular saint.
That's as close as I'll get. I'll take it.
And, I heard that NASA is looking at all of the different celestial objects that they've named over the years. And they are thinking of renaming them all because some of them are maybe offensive or a little harsh. So, it dawned on me, you might have to change the name of Space Command to Space Request or something like that.
That sounds excellent. That would get a lot of fans.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
Thank you.
Space a person to.
Yes.
So I finished filming last weekend. I'm in the middle of editing. It's taking a lot of time because we shot it in 4K. Which is really nice pictures. I mean, it looks really nice, but my computer doesn't really handle it. And I had to have Dave walk me through how to learn how to use proxies.
Is that working?
It is. It's taking some time.
Yeah, if anybody wants to have fun, by the way, I recommend talking to Mike for an hour at midnight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But anyway, so proxies is very interesting. It's obviously something I never dealt with. I'm learning it now. And it's one more tool in my shed.
I'm glad it works.
Yeah, it's working. I've noticed though that it's when you run the playback, it's a little pixelated. Perhaps I'm using the wrong.
No, it's gonna be lower resolution.
Very, yeah.
It's a compromise. Computers will catch up eventually, but by that time, of course, the resolution will be even higher than 4K, so that'll be a step ahead of us still.
Now, but when I render the thing, it'll all be nice 4K, right? It won't be that pixel, right?
Yeah, unless you want to render it in a lower resolution, sure. You can render it as 4K. You can render it as HD.
Okay, well, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not.
With Premiere, when you export anything, it will not use your proxies. It automatically uses the original files.
Well, there you go then.
So
proxies are only for editing.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So that's helping me out quite a bit.
So, Dave, in him rendering it back to 4K, is he going to need to borrow other computers to help the pace?
I'm sure his computer will handle it. He said he was able to play back, but very stop and start. So I'm sure his computer will handle it. It'll just take a while.
The faces look like they're in a porn movie,
Yeah.
What's that?
I said the faces look like they're in a porn movie. They pixelate the face out.
Oh, I'll take your word for it. I've never seen one. Yeah, it'll just take you some time.
Okay. And it is. But this has been a very, very good month. The last couple of months, this quarantine has been very good to me. Just finished the film, all SAG, and I got all the paperwork in. I did everything they said, and it's really not as hard as I had thought it would be. So I got another film planned for the end of the month, end of the year. And I got a third film planned for me and Jim, one of those 5-minute things. I'm doing a lot of writing, and boy, this is really great. I'm glad I got stuck in the house with Jim.
Good for you. That's great. Busy people.
Apart from all the cooking and everything, which I hate. I love to do it, but I hate to do it because usually I cook for myself, and that's no fun. And I use a lot of paper dishes. No real plates. You can't. I couldn't survive with real plates. Other than that, it's good. I'm really good. Other than needing an editor's help, I'm good. It's really good. And if anybody needs any help with anything, and I can do it. And like I said, if you need police gear or anything like that, especially right now with all the questions about police world going on. My mother said it's a good thing I got out of police work when I did. So anyway,
no, it's very interesting. I should say Mike helped me with a script where I was having brothers fight, and it had to be a fight where one brother was armed and the other wasn't armed, but he was very determined and was managing to handle the armed brother. And what Mike was able to show me was pain compliance. He walked me through what pain compliance would look like, and it's not like deadly, but just holds that would get somebody in control without being deadly. And so that's not something that comes up much with police, but that actually exists. And although I'm not a visual effects person, it really helped me suss out the fight to make sure that it could happen. So he walked me through that. That was great. It was just great.
And just one more thing. If you need a fight choreographer, you can go to my YouTube page, Michael Charles Lopez. There is a web episode that has a fight between two Chinese women fighting over a man. And I choreographed the whole fight. You can see what I can do for you. Just check it out.
Yay.
That's it.
Okay, yay. Okay, Adam, we won't go to Mr. Sci-Fi for just a minute because Mark is walking dogs. So we'll play catch up, and we'll go to Judith Smiley. Hey, Judith, are you there? Judith, hello?
I had, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but is there any light you could put on your face? You're like a silhouette.
Honey, I can't be. I had drops put in my eyes.
Ah, okay.
So I can't have any light. My eyes are very friendly. They're looking at each other.
Oh, okay. So we have the mystery Judith Smiley.
The
we have your silhouette.
Judith Smiley,
silhouette man. Yes.
Let's see, child star in Montreal, actress. Studied with Sandy Meisner, built a recording studio, was part voiceover queen in New York, came here, writing. I've got 2 agents that are both interested in My Little Pet and Apocalyptic. So that's great. I pitched them and they are interested.
Great.
I have also an extraordinary popcorn machine cleaner. I'm just about finished with that.
And put that on the resume, Judith.
I will.
Judith?
Yeah?
You've mentioned that several times. Child star in Montreal.
I was.
You want to go down the resume on that a little bit more? I'm curious.
Well, I did a lot of TV, a lot of radio, was working for CBC, both in English and French. And I was doing 4 shows in a year in a Broadway size theater, which was reviewed by not only the Montreal papers, but the Toronto papers. What else? I did 3 radio shows. I did Small Fry Frolics, which was a TV show. And then I worked for CBC on drama stuff. Until my parents said, remember school, your matrics are coming up, you better study. So I had to stop. And then I went to New York and studied with Sandy Meisner and did Broadway and off-Broadway and did a lot of club work. and like that. The news is that Raven has sort of backed out of shooting my demo. However, I have been in touch with Scott, and he has, yeah, he said he would, yeah.
Tell us more about the popcorn machine cleaning.
It's a lot of dirty work. I broke all my nails. You owe me a manicure, David.
This is a popcorn machine that we had sort of donated to us. It's in our studio, and I said we should clean this up and use it, and it's turned into an epic adventure of which Judith took it over, and now it's become this high drama, and I can't wait to see how great it is and how good the popcorn tastes.
Well, we'll see about that. First of all, it was Christine was doing it, and then she handed it. She said, "I can't do this anymore," so she handed it over to me.
Oh, sure.
Anyway,
I have another history.
I
have another history question. Since you did a lot of radio, this may be before you, or may not have happened in Canada. But do you remember a mystery thing on the radio called The Shadow?
Yes.
Well, that's what you looked like. I'm looking at you and remembering The Shadow.
I was a baby.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of mankind?
Very good.
What else? I wanted to ask. I need for the second part of my demo, which will be a scene with Tom Katz's, I'm going to need an office. And Mike Lopez, I'm going to need a gun and a holster that I wear like over here. Doesn't have to be a real one, although I know there's someone I go, I like to shoot, but we won't say that because we can't say anything about politics. Anyway, I'm going to need a gun for the scene, and then I'm going to be doing, thank you, Elaine, for letting me use your beautiful words. So hopefully after Labor Day, in the month of, I wanted to do it before, but we're getting doggles. Yay!
Yay! Yes, getting doggles.
Yes, we're getting doggles. So we'll do it after the doggles, which will mean, between, Labor Day's not until the 7th, so I'm hoping to do it, the first part of it anyway, and get it up online with what I did with Space Command, with, what's his face? James Hong. That would be nice. Give me credibility.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I'm available for table reads. I'm going to have one very shortly.
Great.
I'm working on some other projects, which will. Oh, really? I didn't have an agent. I just got all the work on myself. What was I going to say? I was going to say something and I forgot. So I'm going to do all that stuff. I want to have everything done by the second week in September.
Yay!
But I'm also working, my commercial reel is done. I'm working on my animation demo. I've got 4 scripts. I'm a little busy. I'm not sleeping much these days, but that's okay. That's okay. And that's about it, That's about it. If you have any work for me, I'm available.
Okay.
You can ask Mark and Elaine how good I am.
She's good. Put her in anything. Put her in anything. Okay, so
that's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Bonnie, should we jump over to you?
All right, good to see you guys. And hold on 1 second, just chewing on something. Good to see you guys. And so now it looks like I'm going to start on a new musical. Someone has just asked me on that. And there's a film that we're going to go back to doing the demos for the songs because it's a film musical.
Oh, you're kidding!
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I forgot to mute. Typical. Okay, there we go.
And let's see. Finally getting started on updating my website. And so working on different things. One question I have is, there's a choral group I'm in, mostly I'm an instrumentalist, but I wonder if anyone's had any luck with any software for performing at the same time. That's still a hard thing to do. I've heard of Jamulus. I've heard of something a cappella. I think there's something called Jack Trip. There are a couple. I wonder if anybody had any suggestions on that, because latency is a problem. You can't usually record at the same time. You can record parts and then mix them in together later, but I wonder if anybody's had any luck with any software that might work in that area. I know it's kind of still developing.
Anybody? What does playing for time use?
When there's latency, it means that, so if we try to sing or perform at the same time, what you see and what you hear, it doesn't match. So there are a couple of programs starting to come out.
You might,
I don't know if there's anything.
Bonnie, try, she had to sign off because she was coming from the UK, but find Connie. Connie's, because she was part of a group where they set up a large number of musicians very, very well for the South African piece. So find out what they were using. Find out, because it really worked well.
Okay.
Bonnie, Bonnie, one of the latency problem solutions is to make sure that the software that you're using is on the internal drive of your computer. And any files that you have are also there, so they all run off the same bus of your computer. They don't have other computers or the internet linked, because then you'll get a delay between the two, and that can happen very easily. And you can also, in Pro Tools at least, there's a button you can switch which will turn off the latency, where you can offset the recording to the amount of the difference in the delay, so that it sounds like you're singing it in the right place and doesn't throw you off when you do it. And when it's recorded, you have to then offset that track physically to put it in the same, which is not as difficult as it sounds. So those are some solutions for you.
Cool.
Well, one thing I'm wondering for some of the things, like for the film musical, I want to have piano tracks and then send these piano tracks to the singers and then have them record, so that, of course, we're keeping social distancing. So
that's just a Pro Tools thing. That's a standard normal. Logic does that. Fairlight does it. That's a normal thing.
So if I have them record, do they just use voice memo? Or, I mean, if I want someone to just record themselves, do they need special software?
Well, they're going to have a playback in their ear that's going to match the sync, otherwise it won't match up.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the most important part. And the speed that the playback is coming to is the same when they're recording it. Just like a movie shoot.
Oh, yeah.
If you record the camera at one frame rate of 24 frames, the sound at 23.976, it will not sync up later. It's the same concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wondered, because some of the people, the singers may not have, Pro Tools. I have Digital Performer and, stuff like that.
You just got to make sure it's running at the same speed as the recording device.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds good.
And does everyone have good mics?
Well, if I sent to the singers, they
do.
I'm not sure what they would have.
Yeah, but again.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if that's going to work.
Well, I mean, again, just make sure you have a good recording person consulting with you and consulting with your team.
I was suggesting Connie, who did that thing.
Well, but or it could be just Earl would probably be a good person to coordinate with on that. This is all just technical stuff. Just make sure that you have a team that's supporting you in that pursuit. Anything else, Bonnie?
No, because I know how to record and have the things like that. But we're trying on 2 different projects to try to send tracks and then have just singers and actors record things. So that's a little. Don't know what they'll have on their end. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yay. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Loads of them now. Getting back to, we do have a new question from Scott Baker.
Great.
Regarding greenlighting yourself.
Yes.
The novel, not the podcast.
The book, yeah. Yeah.
So his question is, will greenlighting yourself be a ground-up guide to screenwriting basics, or will the prerequisite be an essentially finished product?
No, and it's not just about screenwriting. It's about directing, producing, acting. It's every major aspect of making something that puts you on the map. So there's that. And but it's basically the view of, okay, you're starting from a cold engine. Here's the way to make stuff happen. And so you don't need a finished script, because most people out in the hinterlands, if they've got a finished script, they probably don't know what they're doing anyway. So it's like, okay, here's how you can find out if the script works, first of all. And secondly, here's how you can then take steps to get noticed and get attention and all of that. So yeah. So let's see, I guess Mark Gushwitz, I guess you're next, right?
If you say so.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this has been a really crazy week for me. Some things have gone right, a lot of things have gone wrong.
Okay.
For the first time ever for our podcast, I had to re-record an interview.
Wow.
Which was awful to call the person and tell them that, but Zoom had glitched everything up.
Wow.
So basically, like this. That's how sentences sounded, like big gaps. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but the guy was great about it.
Cool.
And I think we actually got a better interview this time because I don't know. It just a lot of the answers and everything were a lot more exciting. So in a way, it was kind of good.
Yeah.
Although the original interview would have been good too. He was fine in the original interview, but so we had to do that. But now I'm 2 weeks behind in editing, so I got to be up really late. So that happened, and so we're putting together the next episode of the podcast today. Right before here, Nathan introduced me to a production designer that we talked to, Anish, that we're going to have on the podcast. And he was an amazing guy. I learned a lot. I kind of wish I had the record button open on that. So our 4th episode is going to be pretty amazing. I should say my name is Mark. I'm an editor, because I think somebody was asking about an editor. I don't know if she's still here. An editor, filmmaker, podcaster, just whatever you need. That's kind of what I do. I apologize to Mike if is he still here? Because I was supposed to call him today, but everything went wrong today. I didn't get a chance to, so I'll call him tomorrow to help him out with his little short film.
Cool.
Because today I learned a lesson about Premiere Pro, and I don't know if either Dave has an answer to this or anybody else, but the internet in North Hollywood for Spectrum went out.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, I couldn't open a single program on my computer, because what they want to do is they want to verify your license over the internet before they let you open it up.
Yep.
Yeah, that subscription thing everyone's doing now, it's really a pain in the ass for a lot of reasons.
Is there a way?
See too that I'll get the delay in the programs too. Excel is all spongy because it doesn't snap right on.
Right. Well, I didn't know if there was a way around that. Because I have a friend who will edit in the park, and he doesn't have internet there. And I literally lost a day today, a complete day. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be working late nights to make up for this day with all the work that I had to do today.
Adobe says sometimes you can actually call them at Adobe and talk to them directly about this, and sometimes actually get responses for them. Not every software program does that, but they actually do answer your questions.
I called and I talked to 3 different people, and they all had the exact same answer in a very rude fashion. If you don't have internet, you can't use the program. On their site, it actually says that you can use the program offline. You get 30 days if you're a monthly person for things like this. And they said ever since 2018, that's no longer offered. So, so now I'm kind of considering going to DaVinci. But first I'll call them over there and see how that works. Because they put a studio down.
Resolve is an incredible program, but the picture editing part of it is newer. So you can understand it doesn't have the horns and whistles, and it's still coming up. You're not going to get all the happy stuff that you normally get, but it does cross-platform with color and the sound and some of those things. It's trying to be an awesome program, and it's doing pretty well at it.
The color is, of course, awesome.
The color is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been using the color correction. That's why I've been thinking about looking at that. But I was hoping somebody might have an answer. It's like, no, you can't use Premiere without the internet. But
that's what I had heard. They need to be in touch with you once a month. But you say it's more frequently now?
Yeah, no, they told me that if your program is already open and you go someplace that is not wireless, you'll be able to use the program. But if you open up the program somewhere and there's no wireless, you won't be able to use it, which I still kind of have a hard time believing, because like I said,
if they charge your credit card on a particular day, you should, in theory, it would make sense to be able to use it for a month until they have to charge you again. So why would they even care? I mean,
I don't know. Like I said, I have a friend who edits his podcasts, and he's a child performer, so sometimes he has to do a job in a park. So he'll bring his editing machine because he always gets there early to edit while he's waiting for the party to start, and there's no wireless there. So one thing
for his editing machine, is that what you said?
Yeah, he would bring his laptop that he would edit on.
Not so really technical on all of this, but on the back end, when you're writing programs, there's a checksum protocol that's written in to just verify that you can have it and that it's valid. Once that's done and it's open, it's not going to check again until you close it and reopen it. And that's why you can have it open, and then you can leave it open and go to another location that doesn't have Wi-Fi and it works. And that's just the way that programs are written on the back end. So.
Yeah, well, if there's a way around it, I'm generally pretty good at this. I used to work in retail and I used to work customer service, so I know how to be a customer to get what you want. I can generally get anything I want when I call. It's asking for a supervisor. Unfortunately, in these days of COVID, it's not so easy. So one of them is going to be calling me back. So if there is an answer, hopefully I can get it.
I've been on dev teams and headed up the worldwide database team for HP and stuff like that. This is just the way that the world is now. So the easiest workaround is if you know you're going to have a place where you're going to work where there's no Wi-Fi, you open those programs where you have Wi-Fi before you leave.
Yeah.
Right. Well, today I had no choice because I didn't know the internet was going to be down.
Yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate all that everybody had to say, and I'll keep that in the back of my head from now on.
Okay.
Okay. So much
on your phone. You can only connect with a hotspot on your phone and then disconnect after you've got it open.
Yes.
I did not. I thank you for that. I did not think of that. Now I feel like an idiot because I should have tried that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that suggestion. Next time, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Good one.
That's a really, I'm so glad I brought it up because now I'll know what to try next time. Thank you.
Great.
The other thing is also my short film. I'm just kind of waiting on other people right now. The graphics person's mom was really sick, so he's been not working on it for 2 weeks. But I told him his mom's health's more important. I can wait. The music guy, though, is Earl here? I don't think he's here yet. I haven't heard any music from him yet, but he's working hard on it. He promises me he's working hard at it. And when I ask to hear little pieces, he's like, no, when I get where I'm comfortable, I'll let you listen to it. So I'm anxiously waiting to hear some music for my zombie film. But Yosemite's come out of the woodwork now. They're starting to hand me more work, which is really cool. I've just been busy a little. Well, starting tomorrow, a little too busy because I lost a day. So, but as I always say, busy's good. I can't complain about being busy when there's so many people out there who just don't have the work. So, I'm grateful in that regard.
Great. Yay.
That's me.
Good.
Thank you.
So
thank you for that suggestion.
Great. Yeah. So now another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam.
Yes, we have a question, a very long question that I'm going to boil down.
Please.
From 0102.
Okay.
Who basically is asking about the Kickstarter campaign, which is officially over.
Yes.
We funded, which is great, but he wants to still help. So the question would be, if there's people who missed the deadline, didn't get to contribute, is there a way that people can still kick in money and support this amazing show?
Yes, if you contact David Bartlett, and that's Dave Films, DAVE Films, FILMS at hotmail.com. Is that right, David? Yeah. So just contact David, and he'll
find a way
make
to
stuff
collect
happen.
your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So great. So I guess next we get Karen. Go for it. Oh, Karen, are you?
Karen, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but we can't hear you.
Can you mute
connecting to audio? She's connecting. Okay, you're connecting to audio. Okay. No.
Yes.
There, now we can hear you.
There you
yes,
are.
good. There you
Hi.
go. Hi.
Hi guys. I had you on TV, so I didn't want there to be feedback when I turned it on the.
Thanks.
I just want to say hello tonight. How's everybody?
Good.
Karen McKenna, writer, director, producer at a small production company, McKenna Wolf Media. And I just wanted to hop on to say a couple of things. I was listening to Judith.
Mm-hmm.
My family also started out in Montreal. And it's a great city for the entertainment industry. And I don't know if you all know this, but Kamala Harris actually went to high school in Montreal.
Really?
She graduated from Westmount High, one of the English-speaking high schools there.
Wow.
I think her mother was studying at or working at McGill for that period of her life. So she has a Montreal connection. So
Cool.
I wanted to just share with everyone, I think I told you all a couple of weeks ago, I'm working on a documentary about music in the New York City in the 70s and 80s, basically about the punk movement, but also just about the whole Lower East Side and that artistic creation that was going on there around the Bowery. And I've got a box full of hard drives. I've got so much footage. I've just really had a hard time getting my arms around it. And I've been taking a workshop, a Sundance Collab workshop online. And after about 4 weeks, I really have, I mean, it was yesterday and today really where it all clicked. Like it all came together. I suddenly realized what it was to make a documentary and how this had to go together. I now like have a vision. Now the vision has to become reality.
Good.
So that's, you know, the hard step, but maybe not. Maybe the hard step is, you know, being able to see what it is that you want to create.
Yes.
And I'm there now, which feels really, really good.
Great.
And I also really wanted to thank the guys from the last conversation because our house is in North Hollywood. We wound up renting a studio in Sherman Oaks because the internet was so much better. North Hollywood, for some reason, it's out all the time, and we were always losing Premiere. And again, we'd have lost it for the whole day. And I love that secret of hopping on the phone hotspot.
Yes.
Such a great idea. So, you know, always learn something new.
Cool.
So there are also aspects of the Adobe suite that are made for a smartphone. So I don't know, perhaps just logging onto one of those, you know, making yourself be known, might kick it through the entire suite.
Might kick it through, right? Yeah.
Is there an app, a particular app?
Well, there's I forgot what they call it, the Premiere Rush, for example. I don't know if
I mean for the phone.
Right, Premiere Rush is what it's called. I don't know if it's a free app for anyone or if it's tied into your account. So I would just look into that.
Right. Well, even if it costs a little something, it's cheaper than renting a studio somewhere else. So yeah, great tip. Thank you so much.
Cool. And then one thing I'll say in terms of making documentaries, it's very similar to writing a nonfiction book, like I did with Twilight Zone Companion. And the thing you have to be cognizant of is you start out with your idea of what it's going to be, what the story is you're going to tell, but you must be responsive to what the material tells you. So in other words, it's a journey, not something that you can just have a very rigid viewpoint about before you actually do all the interviews, compile all the material. Really, it takes its shape as you do it, and you have to kind of really be attuned to what you're learning as you go. You know, and that allows you to give form to it. You know, you're basically midwifing it based on the material that you pull together. So there's that. You know, and also of course following your curiosity and following your enthusiasm, and always asking the people you interview, is there someone you think I should talk to? It's very important because there'll be someone that you didn't even know existed or didn't know was still alive, and that can be a huge centerpiece. And you also want to ask them if they have material. So in other words, if they have photographs, if they have recordings, if they have, you know, other items that they saved, because again, often, unless you ask, they won't respond. They won't offer. Right. And the other thing is, anytime you can bring photographs, that's very helpful when you interview people because it sparks their memory. Okay. And so that's very useful as well. So just a few tips. You know,
no, those are great tips. Thank you so much.
And the other thing that's vital when you do a documentary is you say to the person you're interviewing, and not everyone can do this, you say, when you respond, include the question in your response. So it's like, if they say, what year did Rod Serling debut The Twilight Zone, you don't answer 1959. You say the year that Rod Serling debuted The Twilight Zone was 1959, because that gives you a clean way to cut it, you know. So
right,
yeah.
Yeah. We've shot a lot of interviews, and people have a very hard time with that.
Yes.
You're correct.
Yes, and of course,
Yeah.
and of course, you have to decide if they're looking into the camera or at you beside the camera. Again, the sight lines. I was actually interviewed for James Cameron's History of Science Fiction, which was a TV show he did, and they had a gizmo where you would look. God, how did it work? I think it was some kind of mirror thing where you'd look somewhere that wasn't where the eye line actually was, but it directed it to the eye line via mirrors. It was a very strange device, but it worked for what they were doing, and you know, so forth. So okay, cool. So anything else you need?
Thank you so much.
Yay! So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. But before we get to the main questions, there's a quick follow-up question from Scott Baker regarding greenlighting yourself.
Yes.
When can we buy it?
As soon as I finish writing it. I'm actively writing it now. So it'll be a few months, and then I'll turn it in to my publisher at Silman James Publishers, and who do the Twilight Zone companion, and it'll be out in the bookstores and online and everywhere good books are sold. And so yeah. And
sounds like a good Christmas present.
Yeah, and maybe I'll even do an audio version of it. I mean, my audio publisher is Blackstone Audio, and also Skyboat Media, and you know, it's always fun to do that stuff.
Very good.
So cool. Okay, so I guess. Oh, you were gonna ask another question,
go
Adam?
ahead,
I'm sorry. Did you have another question? I'm sorry. You said no.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. The next person, I guess, is Gino. Go for it, Gino.
Hi, folks. Hi, Gino. Let's say something else. Actor, kick-ass actor, filmmaker, comedian. Okay, there's a few people out here that.
Gino, we've got some
distortion.
Here. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
You're too close to your mic there, dude.
It's funny on some Zoom calls.
Yeah,
it
it's
works
better.
good without it.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
That's better.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to say there's something wrong with the radar, sir.
Yeah, really. Go for it.
Up, Scotty. Okay.
Baseball.
Okay. So, hi, Gino. You guys, actor, filmmaker, comedian. There's a couple people on here that may have not have heard me. Okay, I'm available for table reads. So boom, as a matter of fact, on a table read, I'm going to be doing one within the next week or so for my short, just to get out of my head, because it's all pretty much, it's just been all writing, and I know how it goes. But you know, this is thing with everybody else that may not be able to connect to it or following Mark's direction on that. Been doing virtual comedy shows, and that's pretty much it on that. Mark and Elaine, when we were at Marie Callender's, for new people, you always wanted us to just communicate with you that we were going to bring somebody new with Zoom. Would that still be the case?
You can. I mean, definitely, you can bring people to the Zoom meeting here. You know, it's fine, and you know, because again, we're just adapting to the current needs of the pandemic. And so yeah, if there's someone you want to bring, fine. Just absolutely, that's fine.
Okay, but should I just text you or Elaine or to let you know that I'm
we trust
doing that?
we trust your taste. We trust you.
Yeah, just share the link.
Yeah, it's fine. Just it's fine. You bet. Okay. So anything else you need?
Copy that. That's it for now. Thank you, folks.
Yay! So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam.
Yes. Let's go. Another question from Robbie Riley.
Hi, Robbie.
Back, watching us from Tokyo.
Great.
Yep. So he says in the opening of Ray Bradbury Theater, Ray is surrounded by sci-fi paraphernalia.
Yes.
Are you both this way when writing, or do you need a neutral space, like a bare room with shades down? So. Obviously, I don't think he's seen your.
Yeah, Ray saved everything from his life. It was amazing and really phenomenal. He was an amazing guy, and I just learned that there was an auction after he died, and I wish I'd known about that, because some of these amazing paintings, he had all sorts of stuff. It was phenomenal. But I do have a piece of his house. They demolished his house, and I got a piece of the wall because his house was a bright canary yellow. It was quite remarkable. In terms of my writing, I listen to music and I kind of focus in. I can write almost anywhere. The only time I can't write is if I'm in some place that's playing music where it's a song that I know the words to, and then in my mind I'll start singing along, and that's distracting. And obviously, I don't want people talking to me while I'm writing. But no, I can. I mean, I tend not to like to write at home, but simply because I like to kind of go into my little cocoon. But I don't need to surround myself with things from my life or from my career to be able to access writing, because you go into that world, you try to push out everything and focus. And but I do have little photos of the actors I'm going to be working with often when I'll write. And I write for specific actors. I create roles for specific actors, and that helps a lot. So yeah, you bet.
We might want to jump to William Garcia. I think he's going to
call. Oh, William's been waiting for a long time. So yeah, William, we'll do you, and then we'll do Akira. So.
Cool. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah, I've been coming in and out because I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. I just love that series. And a friend of mine sent me an invite. Disney's having a drive-in series, and tonight it's Mandalorian, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So I'm here at the Rose Bowl.
Wow.
And it's like a drive-in theater, but what I'm really excited about is Jon Favreau is going to have a panel.
Wow.
They're going to talk about it. And I got to tell you something, Disney really knows how to feed you. I'm vegan, so they got a whole box of food.
Wow. That's great.
You have the hand sanitizer. And then, of course, they throw in the
Baby Yoda. Yeah,
Yoda.
Wow.
So it's been pretty wild. I'm doing great. Been busy with editing Sandland. Going to all these networking events, and it's been awesome. So I can't really complain. Hopefully this coronavirus is over soon.
Yes.
They're saying maybe by next year. But I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah.
And just keep pushing forward.
Cool. That's cool. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, William. So
I'm gonna go watch Mandalorian.
Yay. Have a good time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Have a great time.
Bye.
Take care. So Akira, well, I guess another Mr. Sci-Fi question, then we'll do you, Akira. So sci-fi question?
Let's see. I think we're good for now.
Okay, cool. So Akira, it's your turn. Go for it.
All right. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this is Akira. I'm a film composer, originally from Tokyo, Japan. I came here 2017 December. How's it going, Bonnie? Delicious. Anyway, so I am a film composer and music instructor, and also I'm teaching Japanese too.
Great.
And actually, I'm focusing on mainly right now in the sci-fi, horror or suspense kind of music here.
Yes.
And also I'm writing for the such a kind of short film and feature film now. And I have a bunch of TV commercial or some indie film experience when I was in Japan. But since I came here, not a lot. And, since I focusing on my horror on the suspense kind of cue, but it's funny because my composition is mainly featured by the some comedy movies like with the David Portrait over there, Koshak and the other terror members. I don't know why comedy people like my horror music sometimes anyway. Yeah, and but I'm totally happy to be here every week. It's very nice to see you, and every week it's great routine. And right now, most of the time I'm living by myself. It's more real.
Yeah.
Going out for the
Akira, I'll tell you what it is. The comedy music is usually dramatic and broad and punchy and all that sort of thing to help keep all that alive. And the horror music is very similar. So if you transpose it from one film genre to the next, often it works really well. I used, I don't know, 7 or 8 cues of yours, and then they're absolutely straight up horror film cues, and they're very funny. So you shouldn't discount that as one of your skills.
Yeah, glad to be busy same project,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so that's it so far for me. So nice to see you. So everybody be safe. Thank you.
Okay, yay. So Adam, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question?
I think there is. It's. I'm trying to determine whether they're. It's from Sean Tracy, who says, and I'm reading this straight as it's written. Has Wing Commander Part 2 been made yet? I think he's referring to Space Command and not the video game Wing Commander.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about Wing Commander, so I know they made a Wing Commander
I think
feature.
He's referring to Space Command.
Space Command, we've shot the 2-hour pilot. We've shot the first hour of the second 2-hour story. We've done a bonus 2-hour episode during the pandemic, and we've completed the audio play prequel, and we're in the middle of completing the graphic novel of that same story. So all told, we've done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 episodes, something like that, and we have 2 more in post, and we're going to be completing the entire first season. That's the plan. The first season, 15 hours, and so onward we go. And thank God we came up in television, because we're very good at multitasking. So it's just fun. So great. So let's see. I guess Thane, you're next. Go for it.
Wow, you walked into the meeting late, and then there you are.
There you are. We're almost done.
Sorry about that. I've been fighting garage door hell with 6 garage doors. It's been a nightmare. At any rate, SAG-AFTRA character actor, working on a variety of projects. My little video got shown last night at We Make Movies. Got some nice comments and
great,
some technical help with that.
Good.
And I just got notified of an audition for self-tape audition that I have to do tomorrow, to play a sheriff in a small southern town. And I do a southern accent, and I've played sheriff many times, including No Country for Old Men too. It's on Funny or Die.
Great. Terrific.
And continuing to work on upgrading my skills with voiceover class, and also exploring a couple of acting classes, since it looks like we're going to be doing online classes for the next millennium, and learning how to effectively do that. And more I'm seeing projects that are shot with, as you've done with your recent episode, actors shooting on their own camera in their own space, and creating a relationship with somebody in a different space with a different camera. And so I think classroom work is a good way to do that, to explore that, and looking forward to that. And excited to see your project get funded. It looked like it moved from 40K at 1 o'clock when I saw this very desperate plea to 120 or something at 6 o'clock. So miracles happen, and congratulations.
Thanks, Thane. Okay, yay. So another question, Adam?
Yes. Let's see. Where was it? Okay. Another question from Robbie Riley.
Great.
Who says, in my 1977 Doctor Who Pinnacle paperbacks,
yes,
Harlan Ellison humorously mocks Star Wars. afterwards. Did he ever change his mind about the series?
Not as far as I know. Again, my friend Mel Gilden said the golden age of science fiction is 13, and he's right. If you're a kid, certain things, like for instance, Star Trek debuted when I was 10. That was perfect. And whereas Star Wars came out when I was in my 20s, and so it didn't have the resonance. Star Wars is okay, but I don't love it the way people who were kids when it came out do. So Harlan, of course, was older than me. Sadly, we've lost him, but he was not the age that. I mean, had he been a child when that came out, he would have loved it, absolutely adored it, and so that's the reason, I think. Because Star Wars has its great strengths and it also has great flaws, and so I think that's why. So it's really kids. I often say that kids have no taste. And what I mean by that is that kids will love things whether or not they're of a quality that adults would dismiss. And there are movies that I loved. I still love them, even though as an adult I can see that they were fairly threadbare. And so that's a part of it too.
Well,
so
as an adult, he loved Alien, though.
he did love Alien. We were there when he saw that, but that's a very different kettle of fish.
Yes.
So, okay, cool. So
And yet a group like the Power Rangers kids who grew up with that franchise were crazy about it.
Yes.
Didn't do anything for the film that came out a few years ago.
No, and again, it's just there's reasons for that. So I guess Sarah, are you?
Earl.
Oh, Earl. Sorry, Earl. Earl, it's your turn. Go for it. Oh, we can't hear you.
Hello,
there you go.
everyone.
Yeah.
Earl F. Smith, multi-award winning composer, sound designer, sound editor.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I've had a great week. I've had a busy week. School started on Wednesday for my daughter. Everything's online, which makes things challenging for me. But still at the same time, I calling her over, take a break and come play this violin line for Mark's movie.
Uh-huh.
So I've been working on Mark's movie, writing the score for that. And I'm tailoring all the music to actually fit all the different elements of the film. So it's not that I'm just writing music. Okay, here, edit this in.
Yes, Mark was here.
I'm sorry, say again?
Mark Agushwitz. He's actually still there, Elaine.
Yes, he
is.
He was very eager about your music.
Getting your music. Yes, he's eager to get it.
He's writing the music for my movie.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked Monday, and I'm
Cool.
interested in getting it. I'm excited about getting it done, and I'm utilizing my daughter in it in the violin. So
cool.
And but yeah,
Okay.
that's about it for me.
Okay. Well, cool. 3 cheers, Earl. Yay.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, are there any more Mr. Sci-Fi questions, Adam?
Yes. We have another question from Scott Baker for both Mark and Elaine.
Yay.
Sure. If a previously sci-fi type event happened in real life, such as First Contact and alien civilizations tech on Earth, where true AI began to resolve huge problems, how would it impact sci-fi writing?
Yeah, it's interesting because certain science fiction lasts regardless. I mean, War of the Worlds and The Time Machine, and there's a lot of great science fiction that the Fahrenheit 451, Martian Chronicles, etc. But on the other hand, since we landed on the moon, I don't think there are any really classic science fiction moon landing novels that have really stood the test of time. So I think that if aliens, invaded Earth, basically it'd be run. But it's I think when we discover life outside of Earth, a lot of the science fictional versions of that will seem rather quaint, because I think that life elsewhere will be extremely different and from what we have here. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm very, very impatient for them to find life on the outer moons or on Mars.
Sulfur vents.
Yeah, sulfur vents really show the enormous ability of life to survive really radically different environments in terms of temperature and atmosphere and so forth. So 3 cheers for that. So I guess Sarah, I don't know if you're there, but if you want to take your turn, I guess. Sarah, are you there?
Sarah?
No, I guess not. And then Sam Hendrian, are you there? Sam? Nope. So okay. So I guess it's your turn, Elaine. Well, because Adam.
Mr. Sci-Fi, right?
What are you talking about?
one?
Yeah, well, we can.
I am here,
oh, wait.
actually.
There you go. Okay,
Hey,
great.
are.
There, go for it, Sam. Introduce yourself.
Sorry. Yeah, hey, my name is Sam Hendrian.
Oh,
I'm
good.
a recent film school graduate. I'm a screenwriter, director,
Cool.
and also a poet and lyricist.
Great.
And right now I'm just kind of looking for, assistant type jobs in the industry, whether
Yes.
it's, writer's assistant, production assistant. But my ultimate ambition in the next couple of years is to adapt a feature screenplay of mine into an independent feature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to recruit, equally passionate team members. And it's a story, in a few words, it's about cookie dough, depression, and the power of empathy.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like everyone's life right now.
Yeah.
So
it's a very, hopefully a relevant story about a guy who eats cookie dough laced with an empathy drug,
Mhm.
and he can suddenly feel the feelings of whomever he locks eyes with.
Wow.
Because I've always been fascinated by the enigma of you look into people's eyes, but you never really know what they're dealing with deep down.
Mhm.
So he uses this as a kind of a superpower to help people with hidden depression
Cool.
and such. But yeah, so that's kind of my story, and
Mhm.
I've loved film all my life, and especially classic films,
Mhm.
and just love storytelling in general.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite films?
I kind of give a few classics and a few more recent.
Mhm.
So classic wise, I love The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Sure.
I love Shadow of a Doubt, and Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain, The Bandwagon.
Sure.
And then the past, 10 years or so, I really love the Pixar film Up, because I feel like it's just such pure storytelling.
Yes.
I love Saving Mr. Banks about Mary Poppins.
Uh-huh.
And then Hell or High Water,
That was great.
which I thought was a great neo-Western film.
Yes, that's great. So did you have any questions or anything you need beyond that?
Yeah, I'm just kind of, getting to know everybody. I'd love to get on the email thread.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to meet more people, in the industry and connection-wise, job-wise, and
Right.
just kind of seeing where everyone's at.
Well, the table has existed since 1993. Elaine and I founded it. It's thousands of members. There's offshoots all over the country. Normally, when it's not a pandemic, we meet at Marie Callender's in the Valley every Thursday night. And but during the pandemic, of course, we've had to roll with it. Beyond that, David Bartlett, who's you can see him there up there. He is overseeing the table email, so absolutely reach out to him at davefilms@hotmail.com. I think he's posted that on the chat, and he can definitely sign you up for the table email. And so that can be a very, very, very powerful tool because it goes out to all several thousand table members. And also, for those who are new to the table, Elaine and I are writer, producer, directors. We have hundreds of hours of network credits written for all the major studios and networks. Oh, Elaine is going to take the dogs down now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, see you in a minute.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, yay. So we're and I've had bestsellers in fiction and nonfiction, so we can answer almost any question about film, TV, or books from our own experiences. And so that's it. So anything else, Sam?
No, I think that's it at the moment. Thanks for inviting me to the table. It's been very, very informative.
Great. Well, welcome. 3 cheers. Yay. So is there another Mr. And when I ask about Mr. Sci-Fi, by the way, I have my own YouTube channel, Mr. Sci-Fi. So on Thursdays, we sort of simulcast between 2 laptops with the Mr. Sci-Fi fans, which is my YouTube channel where I post all the time, and the tables. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
There is. And yes, Adam, I'm reading the questions off as they type them up in the live chat.
Great.
So we have a question from Arkansas Big Dog Hensley.
Yes, of course we do.
Who asks, how has COVID-19 affected your filming?
It's interesting because when the pandemic cracked down and everyone was sort of in their own places, I realized there was a great opportunity because all these actors that I know who are normally starring in television series and not available for most of the year, they were all stuck at home. So Elaine and I came up with a 2-hour Space Command episode called Ripple Effect, where the actors could basically shoot their own scenes. So with Dave Edison and David Bartlett and you, Adam, and the rest of our team, we and Earl's daughter's in it, and we basically pulled together a 2-hour episode of Space Command, which you can watch for free on Mr. Sci-Fi. And and at the same time, we've been in post-production on one of our episodes, and in prep building sets for the other one that we're going to be shooting in the next couple of weeks, starting to shoot. And then we're also doing Sweet Haven, which is the new series we're creating with Rockne O'Bannon. And so that's going to be a table read. And then as we head into October, November, December, we'll probably start shooting that. So so I always look for, my goal is to stay productive and creative and to never stop. And the people who work with me know that I never stop. What works for me is to say, I'm going to do this, whatever this is, and then I do it. And it doesn't matter if there's obstacles or difficulties. I just because the actors trust me. People trust me because they know that I'm actually, it's not going to be an exploding cigar. It's not going to be all talk and no action, because most people are that. The reason actors don't attach to most people's projects is because most people's projects don't get made. So they know with me that it will. And then so it's, in terms of how it's affected me, fortunately I take my brain with me wherever I go, and so as a writer I can write, and certainly we can edit, certainly we can, I've found it a great creative time for myself, and fortunately I don't need the studios or the networks to do what I need to do, and that's very liberating. So it hasn't impeded me at all, really. So let's see. So Stuart Smith, I noticed you joined us. So do you want to have your turn?
Hey everybody, I'm Stu Smith, stage manager, associate producer. Mm-hmm. That's a joke that Mark always talks about. Freelance. I'm not doing much work right now. I'm working on my own ideas. Mm-hmm. There was a game show that I've been trying to produce. Well, actually, finish up, get mm-hmm. together.
Yes.
But I'm not doing anything right now. I'm off work. I'm a probation officer. I got injured on the job.
Oh, man.
So I've been off work, and I've been missing the meetings.
Well, it's good to see you. Is there anything you need right now? Anything we can do to be of help?
Not really.
Okay.
Not right now.
Well, it's good to see you as always. So you take care. Yay. Cheers. So another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yeah, let's, where was it? Oh, looks like they skipped ahead. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
The question from Mark Lungo,
mm-hmm.
who asks,
Hi, Mark.
any tips for writing about or from an alien perspective?
Yes, you have to think through what the alien is. And, in reality, aliens are pretty laughable when you think about it, like, oh, you put pointed ears on a guy and it's a Vulcan, and you put a little ridge on their nose and they're a Bajoran and so forth. That's pretty, in Space Command we're not doing that at all. We believe that aliens will be extremely alien, but you have to think about, okay, how does their head work? Thinking about an alien as like an octopus, a really, really smart octopus, is very useful because it's not human and it's not wired the way a human is wired. And yet it has, it's a predator, it has cunning, it's extremely curious about things. It's like, and it can manipulate things the way we can because it has the tentacles. And so you want to start kind of look out through its eyes, and you don't want it to be so alien that the reader or the viewer can't find a point of access. But also it's useful to study aliens in TV shows and movies that you like, and but again, usually in science fiction, aliens are not really alien. They're basically aspects of humanity seen through that lens. So Vulcans are sort of people who are emotionally afraid to reveal themselves, or at least Spock certainly was, who's super smart, but also super insecure in his way. And that mirrored a lot of what science fiction fans were going through. And that's why they, so many science fiction fans loved Spock. And so that's part of it, but just, you don't want your aliens, unless it's, humorous, you don't want them to be laughable. So you want to find what makes them interesting, what makes them distinctive, what makes them characters we want to take the journey with. In Fugitive Space, I managed to, I think, pull that off, where I have an alien who is like a 8-foot-tall vertical jellyfish who communicates through colored lights, chromatophores. It doesn't speak, but we have a human who's a friend of this creature, and so he translates, and he has this back and forth repartee with this creature, and through that we start to really care about that creature and really be moved by the journey it takes. So there's that. So okay, cool. So now Sarah, I guess you're the last person other than me and Elaine if she gets back. But I don't think you're there.
She doesn't have a mic.
She doesn't have a mic.
She's there, but she doesn't have
okay, well, you might want to get a mic eventually. So okay. But great. So a last Mr. Sci-Fi question, perhaps?
Sure. Let's do one more Mr. Sci-Fi question. Let's try one from...
okay. What I was going to say is actually, after we do the Mr. Sci-Fi question, Sarah, if you have a question that you can type that Adam can read, that would be fine too. If you don't have a mic. Yeah. So absolutely. So, but go for it, Adam.
Yeah, let's go to this one from Scott Baker.
Sure.
Referring back to your golden age of sci-fi as 13
Yes.
maxim, is there perhaps a way to write sci-fi so that older folks can dig it?
Yes.
A subgenre be made that spans the generation gap.
Well, my hope is that Space Command will do that. I mean, I want, people who are younger and don't have necessarily those touchstones of Heinlein and Ray Bradbury and so forth, they can enjoy it for what it is, just as a story and as characters. Whereas the science fiction fans who grew up with a lot of the associations I did, such as Star Trek, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, etc., will get the references. And but I don't require my audience to get the references. I put those things in because I like them, and I know that some people in my audience will dig it. Such as naming the Space Command officers after classic science fiction writers, things like that. But again, you have to. The story and the characters have to work on their own terms, and it can't just be in jokes all the time. It'll fall flat. And there are many examples of films and TV shows that have tried to do that, and it just did not work because there was no there, and you need to have a core of meaning for anything to work really. So okie doke. So did Sarah have a question, Adam? Did she have something she wanted to mention or announce or?
Yes. She asks, what do you know of DreamWorks' status?
Nothing. I mean, I haven't been reading the trades, but certainly if you go on the Wrap or Deadline or Variety, I'm sure you can track that down. They're going through the pandemic like we are. I know that Jurassic World is shooting because Jeff Goldblum was on one of the talk shows like yesterday, and he talked about that. They're shooting in London, and Sam Neill's in it too. But that's all I know about anything related to Spielberg or DreamWorks or any of that stuff. So.
And what about Amblin? Amblin
knows.
Is deader than dead.
I don't know. I mean, but I mean, when you look at what Spielberg has created over the course of his career, it's been astonishing. I mean, George Lucas and Spielberg really remade what cinema was, and for better and worse, I think. But that's a whole nother conversation. So I guess it's my turn. I guess it's me, wonderful me. So yeah.
It's if I could put a word in there, what you were saying about sci-fi for adults.
Oh, I see. I didn't. I was looking for a face, and you're not on the screen. Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
I'm not on the screen for the moment.
Go for it.
I would put Arrival in that category.
Of which category? I'm sorry.
Sci-fi that has an appeal to adults.
Oh, sure.
And did not their alien creatures as if they were versions of human. They're very non-human.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
It's still intelligent, but I thought that was very attractive to adults.
Yes. Though tricky, you had to really be able to sort of unlock what it was getting at because of its structural tricks. But yes, absolutely, it had very good aliens in terms of that, and it was a very interesting film, and it was sort of Denis Villeneuve's audition to do Blade Runner 2049, and now of course he's doing Dune. I think he's a very talented director, so we'll see what the future brings. But yes, absolutely. So I guess so now it's me, wonderful me. So as was mentioned, our Kickstarter campaign. The target was 48,000. It was all or nothing, and we topped out at 63,852, I believe. So that's great. That gives us some money to do stuff with in terms of finishing the second hour of the pilot, in terms of shooting the second hour of Forgiveness, the second story. So that was great to have it succeed. Thank you to all of our team who were instrumental in that. And Beyond that, we're just continuing on. I mean, I had a meeting with Amazon via Zoom last Friday. It went very well. So now they're considering Fugitive Space and Sweet Haven, which is the show I'm creating with Rockne O'Bannon. And also they're considering a pilot written by Elaine called Harbor, because they were looking for a Field of Dreams kind of TV show, and Elaine actually has written one. So she's now doing final little polishes on the pilot, and she'll be sending that off in the next few days. And, in meantime, Mike Harney is reading Caesar, which is another one of Elaine's scripts. We're basically starting to really, really get Elaine's scripts moving and getting them into the pipeline. I have a call in to Howard Cohen, who's the head of Roadside Attractions, to see if he'll read another one of Elaine's scripts called Snow Princess, that's set in the Jewish socialist communist milieu of 1931 New York. It's a murder mystery, and it's a great script. So so I'm waiting on that. And so it just keeps going. The initial phone meeting with our cast for Sweet Haven went very, very well. It's an amazing cast. I mean, Bob Picardo and Mira Furlan and Mike Harney and Gates McFadden, Barbara Bain. We're reaching out to Eva Marie Saint. We're reaching out to Jonathan Frakes. We're reaching out to George Takei is reading the script. I mean, these are all major, major, major people, and they're going to just kick ass. And it's going to be really phenomenal. But, and then meantime,
Can you hear any of this?
Oh, Michelle, remember to mute your mic. And that, yeah, so I mean, I'm writing the Greenlighting Yourself book. I'm writing a Space Command short story called Grizzled Space Jockey, which is about the character that I play in Space Command. And there's an anthology that's asked if I would contribute that story to the anthology. So sure. And, meantime, there's a space helmet. There's a guy named Bill Malone, and he's a big Forbidden Planet collector, but he was also a sort of low-budget filmmaker. And I'm a huge fan of 2001. They just auctioned off a spacesuit from 2001. They didn't think that any of them existed anymore, but there was one, and it went up on auction and went for $375,000. But Bill Malone did a film called Creature, where he basically replicated that space helmet, and he's got one up for auction. So we'll see if I can get that for a song. We'll see. It's really very cool. And yeah, so things are fine. Life is good. It's great to have my own studio. It's great to be working with the people I'm working with. And Gates McFadden said something very sweet today. She said, you have a lot of actors who really, really like working with you and really, really care about you, me and Elaine. And that's a really great thing to have. I mean, the fact that we're able to get these amazing, amazing actors, but also we're giving them, I mean, I wrote Sweet Haven for Mike Harney. I wrote the roles in it for Barbara Bain and Eva Marie Saint and Mira and Bob. I mean, Mira and Bob play a married couple in this. And so they're getting to play roles they've never played. And yet
that role for George would be great if he doesn't.
Yeah, because I said to George, have you ever played a gay man in a drama? And he hadn't. And I thought, well, that sounds like that could be really fun. And so we just keep going. And George Takei was great to work with. I directed a Star Trek episode that starred him, and it came out really, really well. And, but we keep going, and we keep directing and writing. And
if only there was a place for the people who haven't seen that episode to talk.
They can go on Mr. Sci-Fi. It's on the landing page. They can watch that episode. They can watch all of the Space Command stuff that we've put out. It's Mr. Sci-Fi on YouTube. It's SCI-FI, and I post almost every day now. And life is good. Now Elaine is back, so she can have her turn. Yay, Elaine! Elaine is coming back. So she'll assume the position in a moment, and she'll talk about her life and goals. And but life is good. It's really very, very. Oh, I was going to show you guys one thing, or two things actually. We're putting together the Art of Mark Zicree book as one of the perks. And for those who don't know, I was an artist. My degree from UCLA is in painting, sculpture, and graphic arts. I knew growing up that I'd be an artist or a writer, and I was initially an artist, a visual artist, from when I was a little kid all the way through my early 20s, where I had gallery shows and I had my work in national magazines, all of that. And so we're going to be putting together this book of my artwork. I stopped doing art to get good at writing when I was in my early 20s. But Star Wars was mentioned. This is actually a drawing I did of Obi-Wan Kenobi when I was about maybe 21. And so here's my drawing of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that'll be in the Art of Mark Zicree book. and I didn't even finish that drawing, but I really like it. And then also another thing we're going to put on Mr. Sci-Fi, which is really fun, is there was a time about, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, something like that, where there was a book I wanted to listen to on audio, but it hadn't been recorded on audio unabridged. So I basically, every evening, I'd read a little of it into a tape recorder. So I'm going to put the entire audio book on Mr. Sci-Fi, and it is this. It is Sphere by Michael Crichton. And I recorded it on cassette. There I am. It's Mark Zickery is a cool reading guy, and this is, and so and it'll just be for free and for fun, and but it's a very fun underwater science fiction adventure. I'm a sucker for those, and so Dave's going to help me transfer it from cassette to digital, so we can put it on Mr. Sci-Fi. But that'll be really fun for people to listen to, and listen to my stylings as a narrator. So great. So Elaine, it's your turn. Go for it. Yay, Elaine! Yay! 3 cheers.
Well, keeping busy, I'm really happy and proud that Mark
made his
goal. It even forced me to go on camera, which I hate to do.
That was great.
Trying to get him to take it down.
People love Elaine. People loved that video.
And well, I didn't get any thumbs down. That's
you were
amazing.
great.
That's amazing, because there are always trolls out there.
Yes, there are, but not for you, because you're so sweet.
Yes. But keeping very busy, partially thanks to Mark. He's gotten potential
people
to So I'm just working along in that, and thank you, David Bartlett, for translating it through
PDF.
The PDF. It was from an old computer, and so updating it. What I was very happy to see as I was going through it was how
this is Harbor.
Harbor,
the one that Amazon's going to consider.
Yeah, was how relevant. I mean, how terribly relevant it was to what was going on right now with Black Lives Matter.
Yes. Yes.
And, what this hero was going through in this particular piece. So that's exciting, because there's nothing more that I'm addicted to writing more than anything else. So whenever you put me in a position where I have to finish something, I'm very happy.
Yes.
But it's been great talking to you all and seeing you all.
Right.
We're trying very hard to again get production money for Voiceless to talk
Voiceless
about
Roar.
For Voiceless
one of Elaine's
Roar,
features. Yeah.
Which is set in a small town, and it has to do with people fighting to regain the American dream. It's an ensemble piece with a strong male lead and female lead. And so just we have our Welsh people on board, but we're trying to find the money for somebody who really wants to talk about the bedrock of this country, which is the average Joe.
Cool.
So regaining the American dream. But so that's it for me.
Anything you need?
Well, money and somebody who knows production companies who really like to do socially relevant, character-rich pieces.
Yes. But one of Elaine's scripts is we're putting effort in to get it to a major A-list star who would be good for it, and we'll see, because again, it really is. Actors make things happen. If you can basically forge those relationships with actors who like your material, who like working with you, it just makes everything so much easier. And so that's a big part of all of this.
And
so great.
Sympathy to everybody who is in the valley. I believe it's hotter there.
Yes.
And it was really hot just walking our dogs around the block now at this time of night. So gosh, you poor guys.
Yeah.
So
110 in Sacramento.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Yeah, well, there's always Mars. There's always Mars. There's always Mars.
I thought the devil knocked on the door the other day.
Yeah, man.
In the last hour, the smoke from the ranch fire has blown into the San Gabriel Valley to the point where it's hard to breathe and eyes itching and so on. So be careful.
Yes, well, everyone, needless to say, to Mr. Sci-Fi fans and to you guys, everyone stay safe, stay protected, wear your masks when you go outside, and and just we're gonna get through all of this, and that's why we create community, because we're stronger together, So and dogs for that matter. So, but so great. So, does anyone else have anything they want to add before we go off to our various interesting destinies? Nope.
Okay, great.
Okay,
thanks,
guys. It's great seeing you. Great seeing you guys. And thanks so much for all of your help in everything we do. We'll talk soon. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay, bye, guys. Thanks for everything.